Alright guys, hope you're all keeping safe, staying indoors and remaining vigilant. Today I've got my weekly State of the Game recap video covering everything important from today's stream. As you can imagine, and I knew this would come up, the devs talked about the DPS glitch, the NPC buff for solo players and more, along with showing the 4 new outfits for the Urban Jungle Apparel Event coming in the next 6 days. If you enjoyed this one, please drop a like down below, subscribe for dedicated Division 2 content, and let's begin. Okay, so as always guys, my plan is to read through the bullet points that I have here, provide some comments when I feel it is necessary. I encourage you to leave your own thoughts in the comments down below and share the video and the channel if you feel that anyone you know would enjoy my content. So let's go through this. So today we had Hamish, Yannick and Chris, and as most of us are doing right now, they are working from home. The first thing I want to start off with was the hot topic. So there was been a couple of maintenances recently to try and fix the DPS exploit. Yannick and Chris then chimed in to the stream because this was something that was covered by Hamish. And they said this is the biggest priority for them due to the situation, i.e. working from home. It's a little slower than they would like it to be than normal. They want this fixed as soon as possible. In fact, they say this is probably more frustrating for them than for anyone because this is the last thing they want in their game. They are making good progress with this and more fixes are coming soon. Hopefully they can deploy that as soon as possible and basically put this DPS glitch behind them. Hamish said the devs are, as I said before, frustrated with this and this will be fixed soon. Yannick addressed bans. Once they have fixed the bug, they will look into that, but their priority is actually fixing the bug. Hamish asked about the leaderboards as well, whether they're going to be wiped clean. Again, they said they're going to look at everything afterwards, but for right now, they're just fully focused on fixing the bug. They then went on to say that, as I said before, it's frustrating because, due to working from home, they're obviously much slower to react. It's taken longer than what they would like to do this, but they do see and hear everything that everyone is complaining about on wherever you're complaining about it. Then Hamish said, well, if people have issues with the game, how can these be communicated to the developers? Well, you've got the Ubisoft forums, you've got Twitter, you've got the Reddit official page, you've got the Ubisoft support page, and you can always reach out to them on Discord. Now, normally on Discord, you can't really interact with the devs, but for issues with the game, you can reach out to them on there. And they've said that this does not fall on deaf ears. Now, when I did hear that, my immediate reaction was, well, what about the Revive Hive, which is a legacy bug that doesn't appear to have been addressed for a very long time and it's still very much plaguing the game. And this is something I'm going to address in a video I've got coming up shortly about, changes I want in the game, or changes the community want, actually, following my community post. It's less so about me, it's more about what everyone else is asking for. But anyway, I'll digress then, we'll move on. Yannick said even if they don't reply to stuff from people, that doesn't mean they have not acknowledged the issue and just trust that they are going to look into it. They then want to talk about the maintenance yesterday to fix the season rank. They're currently working on solutions to give players back their rank, so that's good news. They talked about the Westside League UI bug. Now, I covered this in my video the other day. I think it might have even been yesterday, actually. Now, your stages are fully reset every week, and every league is 2 weeks long. But when you go from week 1 to week 2, you should keep your rewards. It still works that way, but the UI shows differently. Visually, it did reset, but you don't have to work towards the 60 stages again in order to complete the league fully. If you were, say, at rank 35 last week, you will start from rank 35 in the reward tier this week, but your stages would have been reset. So you'd only need a further 25 stages in the second week to reach level 60. They realize there's maybe some changes they need to make to the UI. I'd probably agree with that because there was a lot of confusion around this. And again, that is something they're going to look at in the near future. They then went on to talk about Title Update 8.4. Again, I covered this in detail yesterday. I went through the full patch notes and all of that sort of good stuff. So if you really want to understand what was contained in that fairly large kind of patch update, essentially, then please check out my video from yesterday where I covered everything. They did say, though, that the hardwire talent issue has been fixed. This was actually not included in the patch notes, so yeah, there we go with that. 8.4 NPC changes was to make each difficulty change more smoother, so each transition between each difficulty should feel much smoother than before. In groups, NPCs should be less tanky, and that should be true for solo players who are playing in hard or challenging. NPCs did get a slight buff in health and armor for heroic heroic and legendary if you are a solo player, but the NPC damage nerf is true for all players. It should mean that solo feels about the same as before, more NPC health, so they're going to be a little bit more bullet spongy, but they're going to do less damage. But group scaling should be in line now with how everything else is scaling. Of course, you know, feedback, all of that stuff. I've been currently playing in heroic, and I don't see much difference in it, if I'm being completely honest. I feel slightly more tanky, although the build I'm running is pretty much a DPS one. I'm going to have to do some more testing to see how that kind of works out. The PvP balance changes that were in the 8.4 update was the first pass. They want feedback on that. They've looked into it so far, and status effects appear to still be an issue within PvP. And I will just add to that, I've seen some people saying that the M1A rifle is still an outlier. I've not tested this myself, so maybe that's something the devs need to look into. Hamish then went on to ask, what comes next for State of the Game? Well, they're planning to do another update that focuses on health of the game in early April, if everything goes as planned. Gear sets that are not working and other things will be addressed. Control points not resetting is something they want in the update, but again, there's no guarantee on that because that's something they're still very much working on. They then went on to talk about the Polarity Switch Global Event. It's worth noting that whilst they are daily challenges, they are not limited to that day, and this is important because a lot of people, again, didn't realize this. They actually stack on top of each other. So on day 4, if you haven't done any of the challenges, they are all going to be available to you because you haven't done any at all. They are active during the whole global event. You know, if you don't do it on the first day, you're not going to miss out. They will be active for the entire week. They then went on to show the mechanics of how it works. I will say that I'm actually having a lot of fun with this global event. At first I wasn't so sure, but it feels great when you stack the damage buff to 5 and one-shot elites on heroic with an M1A. It does feel really, really good, actually. And I'd recommend running 2 rifles with a DPS build because not only do they reload quickly, you can swap between them as well, which is fairly quickly for each polarity, which is pretty simple. I saw some people that were using rifles and LMGs, but obviously LMGs take twice as long to reload, and then they were getting destroyed by rushers. If you have 2 rifles, you don't really have that issue as well. The only thing I've seen that's slightly annoying is the stacking of NPCs, especially the rushers, but aside from that, I'm enjoying it. Side note, if you want an easy way to change the hostile polarity for challenges, make a shield build with all blues and just keep meleeing them, and I'll just keep changing that polarity and you'll get that challenge done no problem. And that was a tip from someone on Twitter because I read it and I really didn't understand how it worked, but that's how you do it. So then they went on to talk about in the apparel event that's incoming. I'm going to insert not 4 images, I'm going to insert 1 image with the 4 different outfits on there. We've got Reconnaissance, Hazard, Chrome and Gorilla. I may do a separate video on these. Overall, I'm not going to say a whole lot at the moment. I do like the yellow hat. That looks pretty cool. They've said that when you level up a shade level, it will tell you how many shade levels are needed for the next key. I believe when you log into the apparel event, everyone will get 1 key anyway. There will be no projects, so you can't obtain keys through projects. It's only through shade levels. And when it goes live, there will be the new manhunt at the same time and double XP as well. So you should find that if you're doing the manhunt, you're getting the double XP, you're going to get quite a lot of keys pretty quickly. They then went on to show the new mask, and we've seen this before, but this image is particularly great, and it's an awesome looking mask. Actually, I can see myself wearing this a lot, although I don't think it's going to fit very well with my hunter outfit, but you know what? I don't care too much. It looks cool. The Urban Jungle event is going live March 31st, and it ends on April 20th. They then want to talk again about the DPS glitch. They're promising fixes coming, and this is their number 1 priority. They did address the question of deactivating mounted guns. Now, this is something I asked for, although I asked for it in a different way, and I'll explain in a minute. They said this is a good idea, but they don't want to do that because some activities require you to use mounted guns, like the raid, for example. It would take a lot of time away from the devs to do when they could just be actually just fixing the problem. And also the removal of the minigun could also cause unforeseen issues, as it was never planned to have them remove it. So they don't want to risk further issues. What I actually asked the devs is, can we remove the ability to actually interact with the miniguns? Now, again, there could be some unforeseen issues with that, but maybe the devs could maybe respond to that. I don't know. They went on to reassure the community that they're trying their best, but with the limitations on implementations and testing, due to the working from home at the moment, it is going to be more difficult than usual, but they're trying their very best. When they have an update ready, they've said that they will provide details on what they are going to be attempting to fix. Not everything will make it into the update most of the time, but they will make sure that all the important stuff gets there effectively. They wanted to advise that you can change the manhunt level now, which will reset some of the control points for now, which without actually changing the world difficulty. So there is currently a way around the control points sort of scenario, but it's not ideal, obviously, and it means you're going to have to change your manhunt level. But if you do want to do that, then I'd highly recommend it. Plus, if you're wanting to get shade levels, doing this manhunt stuff gets you loads of XP anyway. There was a question about season reward caches being underwhelming. I can't say that I've paid much attention to this. If any of you guys feel like this is the case, let me know in the comments. Again, they said they haven't seen much feedback on this as well, but this is something they can look into if that is the case. Hamus asked them about any further balancing changes, and they said that they're always looking on the lookout for any balancing inconsistency. There are some changes coming to specific NPCs and their archetypes. I guarantee you that's the medic, the support station health, and maybe some other stuff like that. But I guarantee something like the medic, maybe some of the shields on the rushers, for example, something like that might be something they're looking into. And again, they are waiting for more feedback on today's balancing patch. And that was it for the state of the game, guys. Hopefully, again, you enjoyed this one. I want to thank you all for all of your support. The videos yesterday I put out, you guys seem to have reacted to really well. I'm going to stay in my lane, and you guys are going to get what you expect from me. So until the next one, epic out.